INFJs are some of the most caring and empathetic people in the world. As a result, they tend to try and rescue those who are less fortunate and less able to defend themselves. This can be a great strength for an INFJ, but when taken to the extreme, it can be their downfall. So, I've created a list of 20 signs to help you determine if you are displaying unhealthy INFJ behavior. First, they can be reckless and hedonistic when under stress. INFJs who experience grip stress may become atypically pleasure-seeking, impulsive, and destructive. They may engage in binge eating, excessive drinking, or the pursuit of sensory pleasures. Some INFJs find more constructive ways to cope with grip stress, such as exercising, cleaning frantically, or listening to loud music. Second, they can be extremely obstinate and single-minded. INFJs are obsessed with narrowing their options down to the single best option for their lives. They spend a great deal of time analyzing and theorizing before choosing a direction, but once they do, they are nearly impossible to sway. It is as if their body simply goes into autopilot mode to fulfill their vision. When INFJs have a crystallized goal in mind, they are nearly unstoppable. While this can be advantageous, it can also render them unmovable in the face of alternative suggestions. They may pursue their vision aggressively, even at the expense of their health, relationships, or well-being. Third, they may believe everyone despises them. Most people in the world occasionally feel misunderstood. INFJs have a particularly difficult time finding people who truly get them. According to the most recent MBTI registered manual, only 2.3% of the US population consists of INFJs. Because so few people process information in the same way as they do, they frequently struggle to convey their ideas and goals. Their intuition is introverted, so their ideas and insights are frequently perceived as symbols or mental images. It can be difficult to communicate these ideas and images, as they are frequently met with confusion or shrugs rather than acceptance and interest. As a result, many INFJs are extremely self-critical and may even believe something is mentally wrong with them. They may keep their inner lives hidden out of fear of being judged. Fourth, they fear saying no. Unhealthy INFJs are compulsive people pleasers who never want to let anyone down. Fifth, they become so preoccupied with the problems of others that they cannot concentrate on their own. Similarly, they become so preoccupied with the emotions of others that their day is frequently ruined when someone else is having a bad day. Sixth, they are uncompromising perfectionists. INFJs have detailed, nuanced mental images of how they want their projects to appear. They are idealistic dreamers and adhere to idealistic standards. This implies that they can always improve, that their projects can always be more flawless, and that they feel compelled to continue growing and improving themselves. Personal development is a good thing, but if it leads to a never-ending dissatisfaction with oneself, it can be detrimental. Instead of pushing and punishing themselves to the point of burnout and chronic dissatisfaction, INFJs should take time to appreciate good enough and relax. Seventh, they rarely allow entrance. By nature, INFJs tend to open up to others gradually, which is acceptable. This trait can become problematic, however, when INFJs refuse to reveal themselves to anyone, not even a significant other, best friend, or close family member. Because they fear being judged, unhealthy INFJs rarely share their true thoughts and feelings with others. Due to their isolation, they may develop loneliness and depression. To be at their best, INFJs, like all other personality types, require strong relationships. Eighth, they feel responsible for the emotions of everyone else. When their partner is having a bad day, they believe it is their responsibility to cheer them up. This is a wonderful trait of the INFJ, but when it is taken to an extreme, the INFJ becomes a martyr. A pathological INFJ will be so attentive to the emotional states of others that they will neglect their own on a chronic basis. Ninth, they use their personality type as justification for continuing unhealthy behaviors. Because of their 4 letters, they believe they cannot change themselves or their lives for the better. 10th, they do not view their emotions as reliable sources of information. INFJs have a tendency to keep their emotions to themselves and may dislike strong, outward displays of emotion, which can feel manipulative to them. This could prompt INFJs to emphasize their introverted thinking function and suppress their emotional side. However, balance is required. INFJs should not be ruled by their emotions, but mature INFJs recognize that they are emotional creatures and that they can live their best lives when they tune into their emotions and use them as a source of information when making decisions. 11th, they have a passive attitude toward life. INFJs are observers by nature. They enjoy introspection, analysis, and reflection. Additionally, they are generally okay with allowing others to have their way in a group setting. Nonetheless, these characteristics may cause them to become passive. Unhealthy INFJs allow others to make decisions on their behalf. 12th, many believe that INFJs constantly consider the worst-case scenario. 13th, they believe they are superior. This trait is prevalent among individuals who have only recently discovered their INFJ personality type. It is fairly common for INFJs to feel misunderstood in their early years because so few people are actually like them. When they finally discover that there is an explanation for all their confusion, they may begin to believe that they are the best empaths, the best personality type, and the most perceptive. They begin to look down on commoners, other more common personality types, and exude an air of arrogance and snobbery. They are not very empathetic or perceptive, to be honest. 14th, can consider others to be shallow. INFJs are so preoccupied with the big picture and comprehending the grand scheme of things that they can be condescending or patronizing to types who prioritize the present moment. They may dismiss the concerns of others as trivial, unimportant, or silly with an air of superiority. It can be challenging for them to connect with others if they are preoccupied with how they differ from others rather than recognizing the merits of other perspectives. 15th, they may become mired in inertia. The INFJ is obsessed with patterns, trends, and timing. Before taking action, they want to understand the decision's long-term consequences. Before taking action, it is essential for them to consider a variety of perspectives. This can be a positive, but it can also be a hindrance to productivity. Some INFJs become so preoccupied with perfect timing and flawless planning that they never act or miss opportunities. 16th, they consistently prioritize the needs of others over their own. INFJs enjoy being generous and bringing joy to the people in their lives. This is a commendable trait, if only more individuals were as selfless as the INFJ. To the point of exhaustion, unhappiness, and disconnection from their sense of self. However, unhealthy INFJs consistently prioritize the needs of others over their own. Unhealthy INFJs disregard their own needs as legitimate. 17th, they make excuses for the toxic behavior of others. The INFJ possesses a brilliant light. Consequently, they frequently attract toxic or emotionally needy individuals. Unhealthy INFJs accept these individuals into their lives, along with the chaos they bring. They may make excuses for the bad behavior of others. He grew up in a dysfunctional family, so he doesn't know any better. Therefore, he causes me pain. Due to their innate desire to help others, INFJs may unwittingly date or befriend toxic individuals in an attempt to save them. 18th, everything they do must be flawless. Before sending an email, they read it 6 times to ensure that there are no errors and that the tone is appropriate. They refrain from trying new things out of fear of failure. The self-esteem of an unhealthy INFJ is intrinsically tied to their performance on any given task. They believe that if they perform every task flawlessly, no one will have any reason to criticize them. 19th, they slam doors too frequently and harbor grudges. The INFJ door slam can be a healthy mechanism that protects INFJs from toxic relationships, and it can also be necessary in certain situations. However, unhealthy INFJs slam the door before attempting to resolve the underlying problem. Instead of being a last resort, slamming the door becomes their primary method of resolving any relationship issues that arise. 20th, their perimeters are fragile. They permitted others to take advantage of them. Yes, they will babysit your children again, even if it requires them to cancel their own plans.